Hello,
I
friend.
just love Burke's music. Can we just give a shout out to Burke's
Yeah, it's
music?
so catchy.
Oh,
During
I love
the
it too.
intro, I'm sort of bopping, and
I
they'll
know. I'm all
stop.
like, dun, dun,
Yeah,
dun, dun.
I'm
it's
glad you still like it. We've heard it so
Still
many
love it.
times.
It's been our
yeah,
theme for what, 8 years now. We've been doing this
yeah.
podcast.
Wow.
Wow,
I know we started 2018. Yeah, long time
it's
ago.
Yeah.
unbelievable. We're
It's
still
like
doing it.
the inception date of a replicant.
Back when we could just do the audio one, we didn't have to do our hair, put on makeup or anything. We could
We used
just
to
say
drink
now.
whiskey and eat peanut butter
So we get
pretzels.
drunk.
you
I know peanut butter cups
right.
and rice that was in the rice
Wow.
cooker. Those are good old days. Now we're all official staying. COVID pretty much changed that, and then we turned into YouTube because of COVID, and now that's our bread and butter.
Yeah, we're
very
gradually moving
better.
into a dystopian future.
Exactly.
Well,
Well,
Speaking of
you know, we're talking
dystopian.
about Blade Runner.
Future.
Interesting. I mean, I have always loved the very first, the Ridley Scott Blade Runner,
Ah.
Blade Runner 1, Blade Runner Prime, with
Yeah.
Harrison Ford and Rutger Hauer and all the others. And
Yep.
that movie to me always, I watched it again just a few days ago, actually. I watch it every so often, and it's sort of like listening to a favorite album. Like I put an album on and listen to music over and over. That one I put on, and every time I put it on, I'm like, this is such a good movie.
Such a good movie. It's perfect. It's one of those movies you almost can't redo it. I mean, Dennis Villeneuve did a really good job.
Yeah.
He worked on it. But it was not the iconic film that the first one was. I mean, it was still
The-
good, but it wasn't that.
What makes the first one so impressive is the world that they create and the special effects are so realistic that
Yeah.
you really feel like it's a world that has
Yeah.
been lived in. Like
Yeah.
you come into this world and go, I this is a world that I don't know, but it feels so complete.
It feels like it's been there.
And it's amazing. It just looks dated and weird and futuristic and old and new. It's it's amazing. Yeah, and there's
Well, I have to tell you something. You guys know this, but I have to tell a story, a short
story.
I used to live downtown in a huge open kind of space with a bunch of people, and a friend of mine was having a party for a company that he was working for that had some designers, and there was a party, and all of these young designers were there. And my friend comes up to me, and in my living room over there was this guy sitting there by himself, and my friend comes over and he says, I don't know if you've heard of this guy, but you might want to go talk to him because he seems a little bit lonely. Just kind of, chat with him a little bit. His name is Sid Mead. And I was like,
And he didn't know who that was?
no, well, he did. Yeah. But he didn't know if I knew. And he's like, do you know who that? He's like a designer. I'm like, of course I know.
He's a designer.
Oh my God. He's sitting in my living room. So I went over there and I went into the living room, and I turned around and I said, hey, how are you doing? Do you need anything to drink? And I acted like, oh, you're Sid Mead. And he said, yeah, what's your name? And I sat down, and we talked for a nice long time about Blade Runner and about futurism, visual futurism, because that's basically what I did in my work in film back in those days. I was designing things, and I was a lot of times working on futuristic, not as cool as the stuff he was doing, but a similar kind of thing, and a huge interest in that as well. And also I said, I have several of your books. And he said, oh, go get them and I'll sign them for you. And I ran off and got my Sid Mead books, and he signed every one of them, and was just the nicest guy, and such a fascinating person to talk to. And here we were in a loft in downtown Los Angeles, in an old repurposed beer brewery in, near Chinatown and stuff, which is kind of the world of Blade Runner.
right.
And the setting that we were in kind of had a Blade Runner vibe. And he was he loved the brewery that I lived in, and was talking about all these ideas. And I was talking about Blade Runner I feel like I talk a lot, but it seemed like he wanted to talk about it, which I was just like completely fascinated. And then some other people came over and were like, oh, you're Sid Mead. So people did recognize him. It wasn't like he was just sitting by himself, but
lonely Sid Mead.
Poor little Sid.
He didn't seem so
anonymous old man.
But other people did kind of take over, and I ended up just kind of,
fading away,
going to somewhere
going to sleep, depressed.
Bye, Sid.
I had my big moment later.
But I got a nice long conversation with the great Sid Mead, which I will always treasure that memory.
That's very
In my own house, oddly enough, in my own living room, which
Very
is
cool.
so funny. But that's my Sid Mead story.
Very good story. Love it. Very
Well,
good.
this film is, like I said, Blade Runner 2099.
Yeah.
So 50 years after the Villeneuve film 2049.
Yeah.
And it
Mhm.
stars Hunter Schafer as a replicant, and Michelle Yeoh's in it. So that's great. We always
cool.
love her.
Oh yeah.
And, yeah, it's coming out on Prime Video later this year. There's no release date yet, but supposedly 2026.
Okay, so this might just be a teaser then, huh?
It's a series.
It's
Yeah.
a series. Silke Louisa is the showrunner. She did a show, Shining Girls, that came out on Apple TV a
Great.
few years ago that Kathy, you liked very much,
Yeah.
which I didn't see. So that's really kind of all we know. But I guess it's 50 years later, and what's happening in this world, with replicants and humans.
2049. So let's see. It'd be interesting
Well,
to see
this
when we
is
get to
2099.
This is
I know, but like
2099.
sorry, Blade Runner 2049. Let's see. Surveys are a sequel to the first Blade Runner and Blade Runner 2049. This is Ryan Gosling one.
Right.
Yes.
This
Right?
one is
Right.
2099.
And then this will be
so-
20 or how many? Yeah. 40
50
years.
years
I
later.
don't do math clearly.
Yeah, some amount of
50.
numbers later.
But a bunch of time, a lot of numbers to go by, and then we're at the next Blade Runner, which we probably alive to see.
So probably won't have Ryan Gosling. Well, maybe he's still alive. Who knows? But I don't know if he
Maybe.
would be doing this series.
They should make many replicants of Ryan Gosling. There should be a lot of those around, I would think. But I love
Yeah.
Hunter Schafer too. She was great in Euphoria, like huge breakout, amazing. So I'm
And
really
Cuckoo.
interested to see her in something else. Yeah,
Yeah. So let's check out the
All right.
trailer for this series.
check it out.
Take a
Prime
look
Video.
Take a look.
and
Mhm.
hold the work.
We already fought a war. We lost. Replicants. They keep taking it all away. How much longer? Until we have nothing. Until we are nothing.
Whoa. That's crazy. Oh. I guess she's a replicant,
Yeah.
or is she? Maybe.
I think she is.
Okay.
That's my guess.
Yeah. Yeah.
Future.
The old world forever fights to come back. Humans want what was taken from them. But it's our time now.
Nice. All right.
Well, it looks
Oh.
interesting. I mean, it
Does.
kind of gives me vibes of the recent Ridley Scott produced
Yeah.
Alien series that he did. This looks like kind of serious, slightly horror tinged a little bit.
I like that it has the vibe of the first Blade Runner, where it feels
Yeah.
really saturated colors, has the kind of 80s droning kind of electronic music.
Yeah.
And the feeling of the sort of low key, kind of moody, voiceover,
Yeah.
like here's for just all really interior thought ideas, because that was the big thing they were trying to analyze between humans. But the line I think is interesting is where Michelle Yeoh says, "Our world was taken from us." No, it wasn't. We gave it away. In fact, we're
Right.
giving it away right now.
Yeah.
It's like we're giving it to robots and AI, and basically we're about to be in the Matrix or Blade Runner very soon, and we did it to ourselves. They didn't come
Yeah.
and do it. We did it.
Yeah.
Because of the convenience and because of whatever reasons we have. But that's what I think is interesting, is when we create a technology that then can outsmart us. It's in a million sci-fi movies. It's
Yeah.
somehow its fault, not ours.
Well, the sci-fi writers have been warning us for centuries now.
Forever.
So many times.
Yeah.
So many. And they
mean,
put it in movies, and
Go
then
back
I
to Mary Shelley.
And when you create something that's so realistic, like Hunter Schafer's character in this, she thinks she's a human. Like she has a human emotion. That was the whole point of Blade Runners, that we've basically turned them into slave race because they're not human, but we've given them everything that's human. So what is the difference? Just because we created it and it's not real.
Right. In the original movie, I always liked how it took the Blade Runners like hours and hours with that Voight-Kampff test to find out. There wasn't just, you couldn't just do a blood sample or a
because they're human.
Or a biopsy or something. It's like you had to do this test of the molecular detail of their empathy and things like that. Yeah. And to me, that was always, I remember the first time I saw, a lot of people kind of come to this realization that like, whoa, this is a movie about escaped slaves, and the law enforcement guys are bad guys. I mean, these people are escaped slaves. That's all they are. And in fact, in the opening crawl in the original Blade Runner, it says it calls them slave labor. They're used as slave labor. And so it's like what we're watching is this morally ambiguous thing where you're rooting for Harrison Ford, but in fact Rutger Hauer and his crew are just, they, like he says in the movie, I just want more life.
Yeah.
And they don't even know that they think they're human. Like all the memories are implanted, make them think they're human. And then they're not even sure if they're going to pass the test. They're not even trying to pass it. They're like, I'm human. That's a really cool idea.
It's a pretty brilliant movie. You watch it on several different layers. And what you were saying about the inner thoughts and stuff, it does have a vibe of film noir. Yeah. And it's a very Los Angeles movie. And if if you don't live here, you kind of might not recognize it. It might just be some, it might look like some random futuristic city. But they, in fact, Sid Mead, my good friend Sid Mead was telling me that he actually told me that they wanted LA to be recognizable to LA residents, and he wanted to keep things.
I love that.
So there's the Bradbury Building and the $1 Million Theater and the Brown House, the Frank Lloyd Wright Aztec house, and things that people who live here recognize as part of our city. And just the general vibe of the city, where they extrapolated into the future with the cultural diversity, which is which we all love about this city. Yeah. And you get to see that there's a lot of like Chinatown and little Tokyo type stuff. And, there's neighborhoods now in LA that you go to. There's Chinatown that's not the Chinatown downtown, but the real Chinatown that mostly the locals know about. It's not really touristy, but you go there and you're in blocks and blocks and blocks of another country, it feels like. Yeah. And that is what we love about LA. And that is predicted pretty well. And, it was already happening at the time Blade Runner was made, but the growing diversity of the city it's a fascinating aspect of the way a city grows.
Yeah.
But another thing I want to talk about is the props in the film. The props and the set dressing is beautiful. Those spinners that you see in this, those are Sid Mead designs that are carried through in this. The flying cars are called spinners, and they have those two sort of anti-gravity projectors on the front there. Yeah. Sid had all these things figured out. He knew exactly. That was kind of the cool thing about a lot of his technology that he designed for films was he was also an engineer in a lot of ways, and he had worked previously in designing real cars and real technology and real electronics and in the real world. So it had to work. And so then when he got working in films, it still had this feeling of usefulness. Like those cars look like functional. If there's a flying car, that looked like one, Right. And one of the props that fascinated a lot of people is Deckard's handgun. There's so much mystery and lore about that handgun that he has. And for years, people tried to figure out how it was made, who made it, what it was made of. And interestingly, I was back in my prop days would get really obsessed about certain props in certain films. I know that's kind of normal now. There's a lot of people who collect props now, but back then wasn't a whole lot of thought about it. And, except among nerds like me and my friends. And we found some reference, and we dug through. Other people did a lot more work than me, but eventually it was uncovered how that gun was made, and it was made from real firearm parts and pieces, and it's an interesting design that had these red lights on the front, which were kind of cool.
Yeah.
And it's got a real revolver hidden inside there that they could put blanks in and actually fire it through this gun. And another version of it, I've got like the two different versions of it. This one is it's sort of a larger version, but I actually, and this beautiful clear amber grip,
that's very cool.
and the two triggers, and
nice.
it's a classic prop. I think a lot of people remember that prop because it was such a cool looking thing. It's a gun. It looks like a gun, but then but the fact that it had these two red lights on it, that was just so like, wow, this is it's very cool. Film noir, film noir characters gun, they always had the handgun, the revolver, but this one has just a taste of being from the future, which I always loved about that prop. Still looks like a classic handgun that you would see, but it was tweaked just a little bit to make it look future.
Yeah, it's not like a laser pistol.
Right. It's not.
Yeah. It looks like something that shoots bullets.
Well, it's funny to think that Blade Runner has a very nostalgic, feeling for me. Like it's an incredible movie that it's been around. I feel like my whole life.
40,
it's one of those
40 years old or something.
It's like, so I feel like that movie matters a lot to me. So
yes,
you got to get it right. And it's weird to think this movie about the future is nostalgic. That just blows my mind a little bit. So then we have the Denis Villeneuve. He did his, which was good,
which I loved.
It's great, super smart, like really smart. So I have high hopes because we have so much great previous material to work from.
Yes,
and they can get it right, and they've got the money. So I'm looking forward to it. It's got great casting. So I'm very, very optimistic. But they've got a really high bar because that first and second Blade Runner are like, iconic.
The trailer looked good. It looked like the world that we expect.
Yes,
I felt that.
That's the other thing.
Because sometimes you go, that doesn't work. That doesn't seem right. It seems like that's the world 50 years later. Maybe it's more built up, whatever. But it looks cool.
Yeah,
well, they resisted the temptation to sort of upgrade the look of it in a way that would make it not, because I mean, like you were saying, right, the minute you see this, it's like, oh, that looks like Blade Runner. I mean, they had those. Yeah, exactly. They had those big projection screens on the buildings, and they
love
the flying cars zipping between the buildings.
It was kind of blurry and hazy. It was beautiful.
Yeah,
it was a great
that amber light. The kind of polluted. The stratification of the different levels. The street level and the ground, and then the higher up you get the more expensive real estate. And
it's that misty, sort of rainy, sort of wet, sort of vibe to it too.
Film noir.
And
I like
the first one definitely had.
Yeah, and I like that we're following a woman. Like our main character is going to be a replicant that's a woman, which we haven't really done as much. We had the Blade Runner. We had the what was her name? With Harrison Ford, we had the female replicant,
Rachel or Pris or Daryl Hannah.
Daryl Hannah.
Sean Young.
Sean Young was
So Harrison
Rachel.
Ford had Sean Young as like kind of the replicant who didn't know she was a replicant. She had that. Spoilers.
Yeah,
40-year-old movie. But it's like I like that in this one we're seeing a replicant as our main character, not the side character. Right. So that's really cool. And then we have Michelle Yeoh, who's the main character. So we have two women as the lead, which people are probably gonna say is woke, but I say it's just really cool casting. So there you go.
Yeah, it looks great. It looks
amazing.
Like two good actors.
Right.
And coming to Amazon Prime, and we saw November 25th, so a Thanksgiving release.
Excited! Yay!
It looks really good.
Yep.
All right. All right, you guys.
So much cool things to watch on TV.
It's
just almost too much. Yeah,
I'm kind of glad they're making a series. The movies almost seem too short to me. Almost, it's like now I want to see the whole series.
I just want to tell Hollywood, slow down.
Yeah, don't slow down.
Wait a minute. No, don't slow down.
Do not slow down. Crank it out. That's what we want. All right.
More jobs.
Tell us which Blade Runner you like, what you like about it, and your hopes for this one. All right.
Yes.
Bye.
Thanks, everyone.